Thanks everyone for joining us for this Vi by visorPRO webinar, AI strategies to build your dealer brain. Some quick housekeeping items before we get started. The session is being recorded, so you'll get an email of the recording shortly after the conclusion of the presentation. And we'll also post it on our Precision Farming Dealer website, precisionfarmingdealer.com, and our YouTube channel as well. So if you want to go back and rewatch it or share it with any coworkers or friends. And we'll also have a quick Q&A session at the conclusion of the presentation. So if you have any questions, you can type them in that Q&A box at the bottom of your screen, and we'll get those answered for you at the conclusion of the presentation. So without further ado, let's get rolling. I'll toss it over to you, Robert Saik, founder and CEO of visorPRO, to get us started.
Hello, everybody. We've got a great morning for you. We're very excited to be sharing with you the evolution of Vi by visorPRO. This is our AI solution for the equipment sector. We've got 4 guests with us. We've got John Schmeiser, no stranger to the industry. John has been the president and chief operating officer of the North American Equipment Dealers Association for like over 27 years. And John knows everybody in this sector. And so he's going to bring on perspective of what this means for the dealership. We have Brock Moir. Brock's our chief product officer at visorPRO. And Brock, background is physics and data science and AI. He worked on the Hadron Nuclear Collider. And Brock's been leading our team on the development of visorPRO. That team has also been led by Wilson Schultz. And Wilson comes up to us through the custom application industry, which would be something important for the precision ag folks. And Wilson has been leading our team, just finished a group of visits with the dealers that are using visorPRO. Speaking of using visorPRO, we launched visorPRO last January after a pilot program. And visorPRO is an AI solution that is dealer-centric. It's a dealer-first strategy. And the idea with visorPRO is that it's dealer-centric, it's short-line friendly, and it's colorblind. We are one portal for the entire market. So you go there, and all of your mainline, short-line products can be serviced and questions answered by asking Vi at visorPRO. We're first to market, so we've been in the market for almost a whole full year commercially in this rapidly changing AI space. That means a lot. We're evolving now into something called the dealer brain. So our progress has been around building a vault where we load the dealer operator service technical manuals into the dealer vault, that it's exclusive, the property of the dealership. And we use AI to load that vault, and then we use Vi to extract the answers for the dealership service writers, service managers, etc. We're evolving now into something called Brain. Brain is where we capture the experiential knowledge and wisdom of the team from the dealership, and also we're moving into the integration of work orders, which is transformational. And John, can you talk a little bit about why you think this evolution to Brain is so important for a dealership?
Yes, well, thank you very much, Rob. It's a pleasure to be part of this webinar. And just a little background, I joined visorPRO in August after a long career with North American Equipment Dealers Association, like Rob mentioned. And part of the reason why I joined is just seeing what AI can do to help dealers succeed. And I certainly encourage every dealer to develop an AI strategy. I see the dealer brain as a game changer, as Vi by visorPRO has grown and developed. It's gotten more sophisticated, but more intuitive to help dealers in their business. Going back, to August, shortly after I joined, I attended Farm Equipment's Dealership Mind Summit. And there was a presenter there that advised that a dealership's future success is going to be determined by what level of AI that they've adopted into their business. And so I encourage every dealer to keep that in mind as we go through this session today. And what you're going to see is a demo of a very professional yet cost-effective platform that layers AI over your service department. We call it Vi by visorPRO, and it can be implemented in your dealership with very little effort of your staff. And I think everyone will agree, that their time is precious. We're always busy, so much so that we spend so much time working in the business, we don't spend enough time working on the business. And that's where AI can help. It can reduce some frustrations while at the same time help increase the absorption rate and your dealership profitability. Now, historically, ag dealerships have absorption rates at around the 65 to 70% range, whereas automotive and construction can be closer to 100%, if not beyond. So what we're doing with Vi by visorPRO will help with your efficiencies, customer satisfaction, and ultimately increase your dealership profitability. We're currently working with dealers right across the United States and Canada, in Australia, and in Argentina. We've also had numerous conversations with OEMs here in North America and Western Europe. But most importantly, our current dealer customer base are very passionate users of Vi, as they're experiencing the firsthand benefits. One of our dealer customers goes as far to state that it manufactures time for a service department and it helps reduce technician burnout. Our dealer brain has truly become a game changer, and you're going to hear a little bit more about that in a few minutes. Before I turn it over to the rest of the team, I want to add that Vi by visorPRO was built specifically for equipment dealers by equipment dealers. All of the pilot projects, the surveys, the platform development was done with equipment dealers' assistance and with equipment dealers in mind. And so like Rob shared, this has resulted in a very dealer-centric platform that meets the needs of today's service department and in the future. Again, it's a pleasure to be with you here this morning, and Rob, I'll turn it back to you.
Thanks, John. So just to highlight that, we've also been working at exploring opportunities in the construction space. We are talking to forestry equipment dealerships right now. We even had a foray into the oil and gas sector, because Vi is very flexible. She can work in lots of different environments. We started in the farm equipment space with some of the leaders in North American and international agricultural equipment servicing, and some of those are on the screen here. Brock, John set it up that visorPRO can significantly increase the speed of service and the quality of technical support from a dealership. We did that through the building of the vault. Now we're moving into the brain. Can you talk a little bit, Brock, about our roadmap and explain to everybody what this is exactly, and where we've come and where we're going?
Yeah, absolutely. So in terms of where visorPRO is today, as you said, Rob, at the beginning of this, we started by building this vault. This vault we've commercially launched with our dealer partners already. And the vault is now evolving into this brain concept, which I'll explain a little bit more about the brain, but Wilson's going to do a demo afterwards for me. In terms of what the vault is, it's really a single repository for all of the service documents that your dealership has. We secure it for you. We make sure it's private. This is for your dealership. As Rob and John both explained, we are focused on solving problems for the dealerships. We're very dealer-centric. In terms of what goes into the vault, so we started by loading in OEM manuals. These are mainline manuals, short-line manuals, as well as service bulletins from your OEMs. As we roll forward into the future, and where we're moving to now is getting in the work order information from the business systems for our dealer partners. We also see opportunities for multimedia support. So you can imagine having video walkthroughs, audio transcription, stuff like that. Those can also become a part of the vault. And there's a lot of opportunities to incorporate internal communication. So you can think about email threads, chat conversations, and something like WhatsApp or Teams or whatever instant messaging service your team is using. There's all kinds of problems being solved in there. And we see an opportunity to bring that also into the brain. What visorPRO is really focused on empowering your service team. So we build this assistant called Vi, and we enable your team to better answer questions from farmers or customers, as well as better find information while they're working on different jobs. And our focus is really within your team so that they can elevate the experience for your customers. In terms of the roadmap, so as we said, launched the vault last year. It's been commercially available now for about a year, working with quite a few different dealer groups with this. But the vault is really about increasing the speed to accessing the information that your service team especially needs.
Hey, Brock, sorry to interrupt. Who has access to the vault?
The vault is only for the dealership that we build it for. So it'd be their employees. Think about their service managers, technicians, salespeople, parts people, whoever the decision maker in that dealership, whether that's the director of aftermarket or the ownership group, wants to have access to the vault, can have access to the vault. The vault isn't shared with anyone else. So this is very particular for each dealership that we jump into. As I was saying, the vault really helps find that information 10 times faster. We've layered AI over top of it, and it's a really great tool to essentially chat and search over the documentation that your service department has. As we develop this next round of product improvements, we're now launching the dealer brain. We're set to launch this for our earliest adopter customers towards the end of November here, so coming up very quickly. The brain is really about leveraging the institutional knowledge of the dealership. So you can imagine you have information inside your senior technicians' heads that is very difficult to leverage outside of your senior technicians. You have information inside of your business system that has all kinds of insights in it about how work is being done. If you have multiple stores, you have information about how one store does things and another store does things. Some of your stores might be busier than others. Some of your stores might see more of a particular type of equipment than others. And so having the ability to share that knowledge and information across your dealership group is really impactful. And right now, it's either trapped in the head of your senior technicians or it's trapped in the business system that you're leveraging, whichever business system that is. As we roll this out, there's kind of two features that will enable this. We'll talk to both of them. One is the ability for your people to leave notes on top of the documentation. This will allow Vi to search through those notes. Those notes can be all kinds of things that really help your senior people kind of get out what's in their heads. And then the other part is the business system integration and pulling in things like work orders and the insights that you can glean out of work orders. And Wilson will show a demo about the work orders after this. As we look to the future, now that we've built this very significant data information pool for the dealership, put it all in one place, we've secured it. There's going to be different ways that the dealer group can leverage this. Some of our partners are really interested in sharing this information with other dealer groups in their performance groups. Some of our customers are very interested in sharing parts of this with their end customers, think about operators manuals, etc. But whichever way you're kind of leaning on how to leverage this data, there's one thing that's true either way. Putting all this information in one place, backing it up, ensuring that it's stored in a safe place, and leveraging it through a tool like Vi really helps improve the scalability of your dealership and ultimately helps increase the valuation of your dealership if you're thinking about an acquisition or thinking about the future of your dealership. So there's a lot of benefit to doing something like this, and it's really going to help future development of your dealership as you continue to scale and grow. In terms of how Vi works today, I'll show you this quick demo. So Vi really is this one-stop place for all of your service documents. We handle the mainline documents depending on which main lines you carry, as well as the short line documentation. All you got to do for Vi to work is you choose your piece of equipment, you ask your question, Vi will show you which documents are relevant to that piece of equipment. And once you hit generate answer, it'll go and get the answer for you from that, for that equipment, for that problem, from those documents. gives you a step by step. It'll always show you best practices and safety precautions, as well as Vi always references her work. So if you need to see the diagrams, or you got a crazy table you need to find, Vi will find that for you. You're able now to add notes in the margins. So this is for your senior people to add additional color to it. And Vi can handle scanned documents, so old documents, and Vi can do error codes without problems. And that's just the beginning. As I said, as we continue to grow and develop Vi, there'll be a lot of opportunities to make a lot of significant improvements in this space. So that's how Vi works today. And that's a little bit about where we're going, but I'd like to pass it over to Wilson to show how the work order insights are really gonna work within Vi, so that you all can get a really great idea of the future of where this is all going.
John,
Awesome.
as Wilson gets set up here, John, so we've talked about being dealer centric, short line friendly, colorblind. We've got that built. The dealers can see it. How important is this integration into work orders in terms of the business of the business?
Well, there's a lot of institutional knowledge that dealers have, not only in their technician's notes, but in their work order history as well. And the beauty of Vi is it layers over top of your work order information, so you can get a quick answer. Typing in a question as simple as, what is our average hours on a transmission repair for a TA tractor, as an example. And what Vi will do, will read your work order information and spit out that number to you. So when your service writer is doing a quote to a customer, it saves them an incredible amount of time of preparing that quote and also making that quote a little bit more accurate as well. So it's an incredible power to be able to access that work order information that you have in a very quickly and timely manner. And that can be a very frustrating thing right now, of searching through work orders and customer names and trying to remember what we did for which customer and when we did it. And that's where the beauty of AI over top of that just makes it a heck of a lot easier for all in the service department.
All right, Wilson, let's see your magic. I'm excited to have a look at Vi's next feature, which is the work order integration.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks, Rob. Super excited to be here today. And I've been working on this product since kind of the inception about a year and a half ago. And so it's been really cool to see it go from something that, can answer a question quickly from a piece of technical documentation, such as, a service or ops manual. But where we're going with the brain is just so powerful in many ways, as John was saying. As we talk to our dealers, as you think about AI in your organizations, arguably for equipment dealers, the work orders is, such a gold mine and such a place to get this type of information out. And it's really hard to leverage, though. Typically right now you go into your business system and our dealers would go in and they go look for like an individual work order. It'd be hard to find, hard to search through. And so we are thinking about how can we use AI to kind of take in much more information, much more than just one, take in similar themes across the work order database and deliver insights that are really useful for your team. So what I'm going to show you today is a prototype of the work orders solution is going to look like. And again, this is, we're already working on this. This is coming out quite shortly. So excited to show it here today. As you see from this, I'm just asking about a particular model. It's quick and easy to do. And then I'm going to add my question as well. Once I send this off, it's going to show me the available documents for that particular model of equipment. I'm going to select that I want to get my answer out of a service manual. And this is where what we have becomes quite different from where we're currently at. We've always had the answer from the manuals. We go and extract the best insights we can from, the current OEM documentation. We also have our knowledge articles here as well. We find the most relevant knowledge articles, again, OEM documentation. But now what we're going to be able to do is also deliver insights from relevant work orders. And so the way this system works is for your question, the bucket tilts on its own is the question here. We're going to go find all the work orders that are relevant to that particular model. And not just the work orders, but the actual sections of the work orders that are relevant, because each work order may have many different repairs that are quite different in nature. And so we actually go and find the sections of the work order that are most relevant under this model of equipment. And then the AI is able to go in, look at those work orders and start summarizing them. So for this example, we have the top 25 work orders about this L328 New Holland piece of equipment. We've gone in and taken those sections, and what Vi is going to do is give a summary of the description, so the technician's story. So for most work orders, when a piece of work is done, the technician or whoever worked on it is going to go and write a story about, maybe the cause, complaint, correction, things like that. Be very useful down the line. The thing is, a lot of times, these descriptions might not have all the information needed. And so something really powerful about this is now Vi can take summaries from, 25 different technician stories and put them all together to write a more cohesive story about this repair. You can see that up here in the description and relevant actions taken. But we also include the parts used. This is really important, as John said, for quoting out future work. Because it's going through the 25 work orders, it's going to give you a list of not just the parts used for one, but the parts used for that common repair. And so now when you're sending out a technician on a job, maybe out in the field somewhere, you have that full list of parts that's used from historical work orders, so you can be prepared and send them out with everything they might need. Vi is also going to include the technician who was involved in the repair. If this is a one-off or very complicated repair, it'd be important for a technician to maybe be able to know who on the team had done this work before, so they could go and chat with them and maybe make their process a lot easier as they're fixing it. And then finally, there's going to be a labor summary as well, where we take the labor totals, which again, just helps for quoting future work and getting accurate. As we know, the standard repair times in the agriculture industry can be quite challenging when quoting work, just because they're always based on brand new equipment sitting out in the yard. And as we all know, that's not the type of equipment that dealerships end up working on most of the time. So this is what the insights from the work orders are going to look like. One other thing I'd like to share is that when we're talking to the technicians, and this is quite interesting, we find that service managers and those who are quoting the work spend, quite a bit of time maybe in the business management system trying to look through old work orders. And again, this is great for them, but technicians don't typically do that. They usually just get handed the work order and go out and do their work. And so we see this as a really big benefit for them as well, to just be able to read a quick summary before they dive into the job. Likely they're going to find something in here that they weren't thinking of before, and it's going to make their work more efficient. And so as excited as we are for quoting work and for folks such as service managers, we're also really excited for what this can do for the technician's workflow. With that, I'm going to pass it back over to John.
So John, just before you get started, as you look at that, using the work orders, one of the chronic problems inside the service part is you underestimate the job time it takes, right? So how do you see what you just saw from Wilson impacting that efficiency back in the shop?
Well, I hate to use the phrase again, but I think this is a big game changer as well. I think every dealer would agree with me that the manufacturer's suggested repair times, especially when it comes to performing warranty work, are always underreported. And the dealers have shared with me over the years that their technicians are spending more time than what the manufacturer is stating the actual repair time should be, based on their testing. So, dealers have also shared that the manufacturer shortchange them a little bit on the payment that they make for warranty. If I can close that gap through reading the service information, the work order information like that, it does benefit the dealer, in two ways. It's a lower cost and a more accurate reimbursement coming from the manufacturer. But again, it also gives the technician more time to do other work.
As we were working with the dealers, again, we started out as a vault, building the Visor Vault for speed and accuracy of retrieval of information to support service and technical support. We're migrating now into the brain, which is capturing the experiential knowledge and wisdom of the team, as well as leveraging the legacy information. And eventually, Brock, we could see this going into where there's an asset where the dealer's really using this digital asset to generate more money. When in terms of AI, you really touched on a couple of things, but where's your imagination where you see potentially, it flowing from vault to brain to asset?
Yeah, in terms of where the AI, where the fundamental technology is going, it's going to be pretty interesting in the next 5 years. We're really just scratching the surface with where this technology can go. I'm imagining that a lot of workflows that currently involve computer work or knowledge work are going to be completely redesigned around AI enablement. And that's going to look very different than how we're doing a lot of things today. Where the technology is at right now, it's very early still. We've been around for about a year with visorPRO, with Vi. In the next 5 years, I think Vi will change quite a bit, just as the technology develops. And where we really see this going is having the ability for Vi to have a full idea of what's going on in the service department, as much context as Vi can get, so that any problem that comes in, Vi can help while you're dealing with that problem, whether you're on the phone with the customer, whether you're doing research for trying to solve a particularly difficult challenge, whether you're trying to troubleshoot with your peers, whatever it is that you're doing, whether you're planning work, Vi will be able to find that context around that problem. We'll be able to help you with it in very significant ways and really enable your team. That's just what Vi is going to be able to do in terms of the AI technology. It's gonna bleed into every aspect of our lives in very interesting ways. So if you're not thinking about where the future of AI is going for your business, now is a good time to start, because it's really going to be impactful.
See some people in the visiting list. Stacy, good to see you there. Brian, Karen, if you guys got any questions in the Q&A, pop them in. Wilson, you've been on the road with some of our dealers, and I know that we really started to work on the development of visorPRO in June of 2023. ChatGPT dropped in November of 22. Our business, now named T1 Technology Corporation, has been around since December of 2018. So we've been around for a while, but just started to work on the development of visorPRO when ChatGPT dropped. We were first to market. We have a number of dealers working with us. You've been in the field, Wilson. What are those dealers saying? What are you observing from their people?
Yeah, for sure. So we've had countless virtual meetings over our development, learning lots from our dealership partners. But I had the pleasure of going to visit Torgerson's in Montana last week, and so just summarizing some of the really interesting things our dealer partners have been talking about. When it comes to what we're able to offer today, speed has always been the number one thing. The ease at which you're able to just type in a model, see the relevant documents, and get an answer. You can have something in 15, 25, 30 seconds that would previously take you 5, 10, 15 minutes. You're either going through and looking through a copy of documentation that's somewhere, you're talking to somebody else, or you're going through a very complicated OEM portal. And so speed has always been a big deal. One thing that was really interesting last week, and this has come up many times, but just how critical having all the short line information in one place has been. Obviously, when a dealership has a main line, they're typically working on a lot of that mainline equipment, and that's common. And that's usually the most, that documentation is the most supported in the dealership. But for short lines, they don't have the same resources that the mainline OEM would have. And so being able to take that information in and have quick access to short lines as well is so critical for our dealerships. They mentioned times where it'd be like, they're looking for a piece of information literally for days. And, if you can take that and shave that down to, 30 seconds, ideally, or even 5 or 10 minutes with Vi, then it's made a huge difference, especially if that documentation wasn't supported before. The other thing is, we've been working hard with our dealership customers on the work order insights integration. And the feedback on that has been incredible from honestly everyone in the organization. Obviously, those who are quoting work, but also the technicians. Being able to leverage that is something that hasn't really previously existed. Going into the business management system and looking for this type of information has always been quite hard. And so that's another bit of insight that I guess we've got from traveling around, is just how important this is going to be for their business. The most common use cases I would say that we've been seeing so far with the frontline staff, it's that, you're on a phone call and customers looking for something pretty basic. They might not have ever opened up their operator's manual, even though it's sitting under the seat. They'd rather call a dealership about it. And so, especially in peak seasons when maybe the frontline staff are receiving 50 to 100 calls a day, to be able to just answer that question on the spot, ask via question in 30 seconds, have the answer, give it back to the customer, and not have to put a sticky note and write out the question and go look at it, or go even worse, bug a technician who's already working on a critical job before coming back and answering the question. That's been a huge deal. And then for the techs, when they are looking for something quick, they're already underneath a piece of equipment and they just need a quick torque spec or something like that. The ability to get that in, again, seconds, not minutes, has been critical. And so those are just some of the insights we've been learning. We love working closely with our dealership customers, and really excited to see what the work orders does and how it changes workflows for everyone.
We're very interested in the dealers having a look at us. So our call to action is actually just to book a demo with us. And John and Brock and the team are happy to show you what we have and where we're going. So you can just scan this QR code or go to our website at visorPRO.ai to book a demo. John, you've done a lot of these, and with Brock, of course. Seeing is believing, right, John?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one thing that we should say is that this is a very dealer-friendly implementation process for VI, and we, the team at visorPRO, we load all of the documentation into the dealer vault for the dealer. Okay. Now we do circle back to the dealer to make sure that we've got the proper model information and we've got the the serial number splits and especially with short lines, or even our main lines too. There's a lot of historical data on models and serial number changes, and we will circle back to make sure that we have that correct. But we really pride ourselves on white glove service. Implementing by visorPRO in your dealership is not like implementing a new business system or changing business systems. Those are very painful experiences for dealerships. This is not. We pride ourselves in getting you up and running in a very timely manner without a lot of frustration at the dealership end.
Brock, a lot of focus has been on the equipment side, but we've also been helping the dealers on the precision ag side, like loading up Trimble information, TopCon, Raven, all those kind of systems on the precision ag side. Can you just talk a little bit about our capability there too?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of this equipment is becoming very technically challenging to service. We've seen dealerships that are building their own training departments for some of this precision stuff, just because the training has been fairly nascent. With visorPRO, not only do we load kind of the documents, so the Raven operation manual, etc., but we're also enabling those notes. So lots of dealerships have their own kind of internal documentation about how to configure a screen, how to install it, how to fix it when it's broken, whatever that is. Those things can be loaded into VI as well and made available for the entire team. So there's a lot of opportunities for VI to really help on that side. And the precision ag side is a challenge for a lot of dealerships still today, just because of the complexity required, and finding the right people to work on it is real hard.
Yeah, my legacy with AgriTrend and the AgriData solution, which became Trimble Ag software that is now part of Trimble PTX inside the AGCO world, I do and know of lots and lots of challenges with respect to supporting the precision ag side. And Noah, we're going to be in the at the Precision Farming Dealer Summit in Louisville, Kentucky. We'll be there with you at the Lessiter event on January 6th and 7th. And then after, I think Lessiter is hosting the No-Till Summit on the 7th and 8th, I guess it is, in Louisville. So we're looking forward to seeing you guys in Louisville, Kentucky. We want to encourage anybody who's on the webinar or share this webinar to book a demo with us. And John, Brock, and Wilson, myself are happy to walk you through the process. Noah, we'll turn it back to you for the wrap up.
All right. Thank you very much for that presentation. Yeah. And I know we did a webinar a year ago, and now I'm looking forward to seeing where this technology goes. A year from now, I'm sure it's going to be, as Brock said, we're just scratching the surface. So it's really fascinating to see how far this technology's come and where it's going. But yeah, if this session is being recorded, so if you want to replay it or share it with coworkers or anyone else at your dealership, precisionfarmingdealer.com, and we'll also have it posted on our Precision Farming Dealer YouTube channel as well. So that'll wrap things up. Want to thank Robert and the team at visorPRO for joining us, and you as well for tuning into this webinar, and have a great day. Thanks for tuning in.